I did not want to make a video on this topic, but I've gotten so many comments, so here goes. Recently, Claude rolled out a form of, or at least they revealed a form of watermarking that they're going to be putting into their generations from all models going forward that will essentially exist in the text in such a way that they can't just, like, if just copying and pasting them into a different document won't get rid of them. It'll still be there. And this is mostly in response to some laws that have been passed in the EU requiring disclosure of such things. And the internet has not been happy about it. And again, I did not want to make a video about this. I rarely like commenting on any controversies whatsoever. There have been others recently that I can't be bothered with because they do not actually mean anything in the long term. And this is one of them, but because it's been such a big thing and I've gotten so many comments about it, we're going to talk about it. So long and short of it is I do not care about this at all. It does not worry me in the slightest, and it shouldn't worry you either. Also, some people are touting this as a big win for the anti-AI crowd, the people that want to be able to, that are conducting the witch hunts and want to sniff out all of the authors who would dare to use such things in their process. And it's not a big win for them either. Like, this literally could not be more trivial in my mind. And I'll go over a couple of reasons why. Now, I will say that there is some reason for some people to be concerned about this, but I think the people that need to be concerned the most are the people in the EU running these laws, because there isn't any possible way that they could really enforce this truly. They can pass laws that will get the AI companies to enact watermarks like this, but watermarks like this are just so easily gotten around that it's going to be next to impossible to enforce. And there's also going to be other companies, other open source things, models run locally on computers, whatever, that are just, you can't enforce it. Like that's reason number one, right? So I really don't know how this is going to work long term. The second thing is, I'm pretty sure a number of companies were doing this already and nobody has bothered to care or look at it. Like, we've heard of this going back to, like, I believe Google was doing something like this a while back. It's been happening with a lot of image generations for a while. I don't know why people are suddenly paying attention to this topic, because it's not anything new. The third thing that I want to cover is that, because this isn't anything new or anything, like, most people are not even going to be using this to actually try and sniff out if you used AI or not. There are cases where they might. If you're trying to get a traditional publishing deal, that seems to be a no-no right now, to use AI in your prose. And the biggest issue I can see with this whole thing, maybe one of the few legit issues with this watermarking thing, is that what if somebody's just using AI to proofread their book and it basically reproduced the chapter, even if it's exactly the same words that you put into it, but it just reproduces the chapter without any spelling errors or anything, but it's going to include the watermark. Are people going to then accuse that book of AI? Maybe, but I don't think so. On the rare exceptions of, like, trying to submit to contests, for instance, which you shouldn't be using AI for those anyway, trying to submit to traditional deals, they might run it through something that would detect it. But if you're, say, self-publishing your book, the chances of someone actually going through the trouble to try and sniff out all of the books on Amazon that have this watermark are minuscule at best. And even if they do it, any hullabaloo that they want to post about online about your book is likely to have very minimal impact. Because even in the days of cancel culture that we live in right now, few people care about this, despite what people think. Few people care about this for it to really be an issue. And the reason I know this is because I'm one of the most public facing people about AI for creative writing that is out there on the internet right now. And I've seen next to no genuine retaliation around my fiction books, whether they were written with AI or written before AI. Almost nothing. And I'm like one of the most public figures out there. Now, to be fair, I am switching a lot of my books to some different pen names in the future that will not be as public, just to be cautious on that front. So I'm not saying it doesn't concern me at all. It does. But the fact that I haven't seen anything yet is pretty interesting there. So I don't think that even if people have the capability to detect your book as being written with AI, I really don't think it's going to mean anything. Even if for some reason, and Amazon is very pro AI, but let's just say for sake of argument that Amazon decided to shut down your account because it was using AI, which it won't, but let's just assume it does. The most profitable method with your books is to sell direct. Just sell on your own website. The people making the most money with their fiction books right now are doing it that way. Now you shouldn't ignore Amazon, because usually the people that are selling direct like that started on Amazon and got big there first and then moved direct. But it still doesn't negate the fact that people selling direct, which you control completely, are the people making the most money with AI right now, or with fiction right now. So that's a big option, or a big important reason why this doesn't faze me at all. Just because people can doesn't mean they will. And most people will not care. Okay. All right. Next reason why this doesn't faze me at all. This watermark is mostly gotten around by doing a little bit of editing of the text. Now, that's not going to remove it completely from the way I understand it works. However, if you are doing your best to make the book your own, which you should be doing, then you will be editing the text sufficiently so that the watermark won't even appear. And that's really the important thing here, is like, you should be putting some effort into it. And this is one of the reasons why this whole thing is so overblown, is because if you're actually putting some work into this, which you should, it's not going to be an issue. Okay. So we all just need to chill here, I think. All right. Next thing. That one was quick. Next one. Even though the EU is kind of mandating this, and this is the reason that Claude's doing it, Suno's doing it with their music, and I'm sure we'll see a bunch of others doing it. I guarantee that there will be people like certain entrepreneurs named Elon, or open source models that run on your local machine, or Chinese models that kind of tend to exist outside, like they just kind of do their own thing. I guarantee you there will be a model somewhere that doesn't have this watermarking thing. So you can either use those models in your writing, or you can take what Claude gave you that had the watermark and then just feed that to a different AI model that doesn't have a watermark, and just say, reproduce this text verbatim. And it'll reproduce the text verbatim without the watermark. Easy. This is why it's going to be so difficult for the EU to enforce these things, because like you just can't guarantee that there won't be a model somewhere out there that will not have this watermark. Like it's going to be so easy to get around. All right. So all of that said, if you're really concerned about this, I do have a workaround that I think is a legitimate one. And the nice thing about this workaround is that it is also, it is a workaround for copyright as well. I'm going to do another video about copyright, but basically, if you want to ensure that you have full copyright of your book, you need to ensure that you made creative decisions around every sentence that goes into your book. And the same is true for this watermarking. If you want to get rid of this watermarking issue, here's what I would do. You generate your draft with AI, however you do that, whatever process floats your boat. Then you put on one side of your screen, you put that AI draft. Then you get out a blank canvas, blank page on the other side, and use some kind of dictation software. And then from there, you do your editing pass via dictation. Now, a lot of people have a editing pass anyway, and they might not dictate it. They'll just go in and they'll modify it by typing things out. And so that's already taking some of your time. You can replace that time waster with a dictation draft, which might take maybe a little bit more time, maybe not. I would say it's probably about the same. And go through your text that way. That way, every sentence that you are taking from the AI draft as is, you are doing so because it's a creative decision to select that text and to use that text. And now, granted, if you're just reading off the entire manuscript with no changes, that I wouldn't really qualify that as being a creative decision. But if you are editing as you go and changing things as you go, and then maybe occasionally using a word or phrase here from the AI draft, then that is entirely yours. And it also happens to negate the watermark because you're essentially just creating a entirely new first draft. So that is another way to get around the watermark issue. And that has the added advantage of getting an editing pass in and giving yourself pretty much free reign to claim copyright on that book. So there are a lot of ways around this. I've covered a couple of them here. I'm sure there are plenty more. This is definitely one of those instances of, I think, people freaking out about something that's really not important to freak out about. And I actually want to cover this here because there are these concepts called abundance mindset and scarcity mindset that I really want to outline for people. Most of the people I know who are successful in life have an abundance mindset. I've gotten all the success I've had because of an abundance mindset. What is an abundance mindset? It's the idea that everything's going to work out in the long run and that there's plenty to go around. A scarcity mindset is anytime someone feels scarcity or feels like there isn't enough to go around, or that by somebody winning, that means you're losing. If you feel jealous of someone for having success, that means you have a scarcity mindset. If you feel threatened by AI, you're in a scarcity mindset. If you feel threatened by other things like this, you're in a scarcity mindset. And the reason for that is because you feel like things are outside of your control and you're not taking responsibility for your own life. Now, it is true that there are things outside of our control, but there are infinite ways that human beings can adapt and infinite ways that we can restore abundance in our lives and work around things when we have genuine roadblocks. And if this were a genuine roadblock, we would find a way around it and it would be totally fine. The point is, those that have the abundance mindset, even if it seems like irrationally optimistic, those people tend to do much better, tend to have higher luck, and are just overall more successful people. And I found that the more I can reduce that scarcity mindset in my life, the more successful I am. And so I just kind of want to end with this. Don't let the negativity get to you. It's all just par for the course. As with any technology like this, there's always going to be some wrinkles and bumps and growing pains and all these things. It's going to be okay. Focus on having that abundance mindset, removing those limiting beliefs, and you're going to be okay. Those are my final thoughts. I'll see you in the next video.